Okay, so we're going to do a walkthrough on a particle system. It's going to be for a confetti hit when we shoot our gun, so let's watch it. Okay, so on these particle systems, we're just going to walk through one. It's not going to be very hard. If you saw the mapping the controller video, we're going to make just a confetti hit. So when we shoot our gun and whatever it hits, is a little poof of confetti comes out instead of a bullet hole or anything. It's just going to be real simple, and we'll just walk through the particle steps and how to make it. So let's see, let's just do a right click. Oops, wrong space. In a hierarchy, you can just do right click, effects, particle system. Okay. Immediately, it's going to put this particle system out there, and it's going to be all set to default values. Okay. We can go ahead and change the name to it's a confetti hit. There. Just to keep things, tidy. Go ahead and reset all the transforms. Go ahead and leave it going that way. See, they're emitting and then going down the z-axis. There. Okay, so the first thing we want to do, if we go to looking, this bigger since we're not really doing anything else. And this, if this gets annoying, you can stop. You can pause it. You can stop it, restart it. Okay, play. So change all that. Okay, so on the duration, we know we just want a quick little poof, like a poof of smoke, but we want it to be confetti. So that's not going to take 5 seconds. So we can change this more to like, let's do 1/10 of a second. And we don't want it to loop. We just want it to happen one time. Okay, so we can turn that off, and then if we hit play, we can kind of see what we've done. You really can't see anything anymore. Okay, so when we move down here, we've got a start delay, which if you hover over these, it gives you a little description of what each thing does, so that's pretty helpful too. Then we got a start lifetime. So this is how long each particle is going to live. So so it's going to live for 5 seconds. If you go over here to this little pull down arrow, you've got a constant, you've got a curve that you can do. You can base their particle life on a curve. Sometimes if I want random things, I like this random between two constants. So you can pick this, and that pulls up this number and this number. And this is a short, and this is the longest. Or I think this is the longest. Yeah. So let's say I wanted to go be anywhere between 1 second and 0.2 tenths of a second. Okay, so it's going to pick a random number in between these two on each particle, and that'll be the lifetime of the particle. The start speed, we want the start speed to be really quick because we want it to be like a puff. That was kind of like just a constant little woo woo woo. So usually on that we can just start off something usually really fast, like 200. Like I said, you're not going to break anything. You're making a particle system. You can just come in here and just I do recommend each time you change a value to go and hit play and just kind of see what happens. We're not going to have anything just yet because change some more stuff down here. On the start size, if you noticed, oops, on this, those fuzzy balls that were coming out there were pretty big. So we know we want to change the start size, and let's change it to something pretty small. Let's go ahead and do that. 1/10 of the size. 3D start rotation, if you have 3D object that you're emitting, you can use that. Under regular start rotation, it's just, you start give the object kind of a rotate when you start out there. And you really just kind of have to play around. Let's kind of give it a 2 there, see what happens. Got a start color, which is white, which that'll come in handy later, because we're going to have it pick random colors when it emits each particle. Gravity modifier, you kind of want the modify the gravity, how it affects the particle. Kind of change it to 2. Simulation space is local, that's fine. You can do world, but local, see world, I think it would do the same thing anyway. Simulation speed, that's fine. Delta time, scale, that's fine. Scaling mode, local. Play on awake, that's fine, because when we shoot and instantiate it, we want it to go ahead and play. Emitter velocity, we do want it to do it by rigid body. You can do it just by the transform, but have a control with the rigid body. We got the max particles, so that 1,000 particles is the maximum particle limit at any given time. Okay. Auto random seed, that's fine. Stop action none. These are all fine there. Okay. On our emission, let's see. We got a rate over time. So this is saying emit 10. This is why we're not seeing anything come out right now. So we can do rate over time or rate over distance. We want to go ahead and do rate over time. Distance would be like if you had something on a tire. So if it would calculate, from here, this distance to this distance, I wanted to emit 200 particles of like smoke coming off your tires. So that's what that would be used for. The rate over time, I got it set up to 500. So once we have that set, hit play. You can see it shoots them out like bullets. But it's like just a burst. That's kind of what we want to go for. Right now it's a burst of those little default particles that's coming out of there. Okay. And this, if you want it to have a constant, a burst, you can have it set a time, have it cycle through, burst, and then you can just, you don't have to worry about instantiating every time. You just have it sit up there and it'll emit on a given cycle. But we just wanted to do it one time. Okay, the shape. The shape is the what the shape of the emitter is. If you kind of look, they're following this cone on that burst. If we were to take this angle on this cone and set it to 25 degrees and make it narrower, you'll see that it will burst only inside that narrower cone. So you can really, like a shotgun it down there. But kind of what we want to do for ours is cone, set to that angle right there. We want the radius, I'll take it down pretty low. That's kind of where the barrel of where it comes out of there. So choking that down, they kind of group up smaller at the beginning. Okay, that's pretty good. The radius thickness. Kind of change that around. And you can kind of see it's only shooting the particles in this area, so we're kind of getting a donut effect. So I'm sure that would come in handy at some point. I'll change that back to 1. The arc is set to 360 degrees, so you can mess around with that and see that. Kind of take that arc down and only shoot. So now it shoots like in a flat plane right there. So that's pretty fun. Let's see. All right. Random. Yep, that's what we want. Spread. It goes from 0 to 1. I think at 1 it makes it like a flat. Yeah. Deal there. So that's another way you can change, that arc mode. Or back to 0. It's going to fill up that whole cone. Okay. All right. And then the next thing we're going to mess with is the limit velocity over lifetime. Notice how it's all grayed out. You just got to check that box. Okay, so that means we're going to use that now. And just going to do the speed. Let's see. Now let's go ahead and do separate axis. Okay. Space. Local. Dampen. This is going to be kind of the, we want it to shoot out, but then like paper quickly loses that momentum, so it kind of looks like poof, and then it kind of just forms a cloud. It kind of drifts down. So we want to turn the dampen up to about 0.6. The drag, that's how much the wind and everything has a drag on the particle. You set it to like 40. And then you kind of take a look, see what's going to go on. Okay, and that's more of what we want it to do. So it just kind of goes poof, and then stops and kind of settles. Okay? So it's looking more kind of confetti-like, if you want to call it that. Let's see. Okay, so now we've got the color over lifetime. So we can click that box and open it. I'm going to kind of close that down. Oh, I knew I was missing one. Okay, inherent velocity. Okay, so this is the initial velocity that comes out. We're just going to kind of give it just a little bit more. So it's got a multiplier in here, and I'd set it to 100. So now if we play it, it's just going to give it a little more get out there. Okay, and then the color over lifetime. Close this up. And this is where I've got the confetti being all different colors. So if I click this, we're going to have a gradient. Click this bar. This is going to open up our gradient for us. Right now it's going to be a blend, so it's going to be kind of like a, it slowly blends in from one color to another, but we want different colors. So we can do a fixed, and I'll bring this one up right here. We're just going to put in a bunch of different stops and just have them different colors. Okay, so it's going to pick a random color off this bar and make each particle just a random color off of there. Okay, so I'll click this one back on there. let's just say we're going to have like that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. Not sure if I can come up with that many different colors. Oh, maybe I hit my limit there. Okay, so when you click on these, it's going to pull up your color wheel. You can say, okay, I want that to be red. Click on this one. I want that to be blue. Click on that one. Let's say green. Let's go yellow. We got orange. It's white. Oh, we're not done yet. Okay, let's go purple. Okay, so it's just going to pick a random color off this and change our particle colors to that color. Okay, so if we close out here, close out of there, you'll notice we have our color set up. And if we go down, hit play, and you can kind of tell, let's see, go ahead and make our particles. Let's go ahead and change it back to 1 on our start size. And then they're all going to, so you can see where they're hitting different colors, and they'll change color over the lifetime of the particle, but you won't really be able to tell. It just, when the confetti hits, it kind of just looks like a confetti going down. It kind of gives it a better effect, like they're fluttering in the wind. Okay, so if we change this back down, there, that kind of gives you a better idea. Okay. So we got that. Close that up. Then we're going to do noise. Now what this does is it adds a noise factor into the pattern of these, and it just kind of gives it a more of a fluttering effect. So if we go to noise here, turn it on, let's pick separate axes. I think I have this just messing around like a point 2, 1 on the X, and you'll see our kind of changes here. Frequency, that's not very exciting yet. Scroll speed, that. We're going to say dampening, yes. Octaves, which is how many layers of the noise. So that kind of gives us a more turbulent look. Octave scale, high 3D. We've got some curves. We can kind of remap this stuff manually if we want to, but I don't. We'll do a position amount, 4.7. And so I kind of came up with all these just kind of messing around. So there's really no set rule to what we're doing here. But then I can come in here and hit play and see, it kind of gives it a kind of a blowing in the wind type effect, if you will. Okay. And then on our collision, okay, our collision is where we can set the particles to interact with things that have colliders in our scene, so it looks like they're settling on the floor or something will affect it. Let's kind of change that from planes to world. Modes 3D, dampen 0.72. Let's see here. Bounce, I don't really want them to bounce. You can kind of have your particles, when they hit the floor, bounce a couple of times. You know, if you have some big chunks of 3D pieces that you put in there to emit out, and they can bounce across the floor. Let's see, everything 0, okay, and all that stuff we just leave alone. Alright, so if we had a 4 there, they would kind of settle on the floor. But we'll show that when we test it out. Okay, and the last thing we have is the renderer down here. This is where we can change what the, if you look right here, it says default particle system, and that's that default particle there. It's kind of like a fuzzy snowflake or something, you know, kind of gives that number. But we want it kind of like a square piece of paper, like what confetti is. So if we click on the renderer, you know, it has the render mode as billboard, and that just means it's going to render as a flat billboard, if you will, on that type deal. Okay, then on our default particle system, that's that sprite that is shooting now, and we want to find that square one. So we can click on this radio button. It's going to bring up our choices, what we can do here. And just by default, this is the one we want here, just this little square one. Okay, so that's, you know, confetti's kind of a square piece of paper. Click that out right there. I believe that is the only thing that we changed there. And it is. Okay, so if we hit play, now they're squares. Okay, so it's kind of a cool thing. And then what I want to do now is change that size back down to 0.1. There we go. I'm not in right there. I don't know if our go right there. That is pretty much it. It's just going in here and changing the parameters on certain things, and getting what you want. Usually, the way I did it is when I downloaded those default particle systems from Unity off the store, I just kind of brought them in and picked them apart, kind of seeing what they were doing. And then if I want something that's kind of similar, I either modify one of theirs or look at one of theirs while I'm designing one that I need. So I mean, there's no real right way or wrong way, but you'll notice on those other ones that you can't stack them. Like if you wanted a light to flash when you were doing it, I believe you just click on there, light, you do a point light, make that a child, the point system, everything at 0, 0, 0. Let's see, where's the intensity? Put the intensity at like 100 there. Maybe make it like explodey color. All right. Go back into here. I believe there is a lights deal. Click on there. It's asking for the light source. We can just click and drag this point light in there. It has each particle color. You could. Alright, so you have a maximum of 20 lights, but when we hit play, it should flash that light. It's just kind of hard to tell. I don't know if we go. It's working. It's just, this isn't the best place to show it. That's how you get a light flash going on in there. Turn that halo off. I guess, okay, I guess that's where you emit lights. I know we don't want to do that. Okay, trails. Assign a material in the render module. Trail material. Go there and just pick that default one there. Trails, and then when we hit play, kind of gives it a whoo. It's kind of a cool effect. But you know, there's so many different little things that you can do to change stuff around. So hit none there. Turn that off. It's got sub emitters. You can have on each one of your particles have another particle explode off of it. That's pretty fun. How to get those fires? You have these texture sheet animations, and you just bring in the sheet, and it's when I don't have the thing pulled up, and when you have the sheet of the different fire things, it reads off of there, and that's how it animates that fire. That's how that goes right there. But like I said, I usually just pull those in and kind of go through and reverse engineer how theirs works. And then I kind of know how that's going. So to see how our confetti thing will happen when we shoot at it, let's see here. Let me bring in this other Unity. Let's see if I can get this pulled up. Okay. Pull this up over here. And it should be set up already. I think I got it on the right scene. Then when we fire, wherever we hit, that little thing of confetti is gonna poof out. So let's give it a shot. Okay. There we go. I think on this one I just have more. Whoa! Alright, I'm sick now. I don't know what happened there. Let's see. I think my mouse is having some issues, but that's just that's the gist of the particle system. If you guys have any more questions, so you can ask me on our 1 hour meet times, or you can give me an email. All right, thanks.